Everyone. So I just wanted to come to you live today because I've been hearing now for like a couple of weeks now that people are having certain form of breakdowns and how they're responding to this whole situation, and it just like everything is coming up to the surface and everything is kind of like exploding. And the funny thing about this is that yours truly is human. Yours truly is not an exception to this particular rule. And I had my major breakdown last night. I had a major catharsis. I had, it was one of those things that some silly thing triggered, when you were working on it, you're working on it. And God knows I've been working on it, but just there were so many changes because not only that the lockdown, but also having essentially my personal lockdown with having to be home and taking care of things 24/7. It gets to the point like I can't, hey John, how you doing? Like, John, I can't go. I can't get out to play my golf game. I'm not going to be able to play in the championship this year. Like for me, the season is pretty much going to be like done. There's no way for me to go. And it's just one of those things where you're experiencing that from every angle. You just feel lost and you feel like, okay, there's nowhere where I could go for a little bit of action. And, we were talking with my sisters about this, that I used to, at least I could go out and play an hour tennis, but because of my stupid knee injury in last August and the knee surgery, I can't even run. So I'm like, at that point, I was like, what the hell is left for me, right? So then it was so funny because just the tiny little swivel of things, just nothing could literally put you over the edge. And last night, but last night was my edge, was my catharsis. And if I would not have my family, it would be so difficult to come out of it. But I do, so I am really, really happy about that. And even when, for you too, if sometimes you are, have some misunderstanding with your family or whatever, they are the only ones who really get you. So keep them close. So yesterday, that was this major catharsis for me. But to be honest with you, I don't mind that it happened because since the thing is that sometimes high achievers and independent people, women, men, we just try to kind of keep it inside and, I don't want to cry, I don't want to look like I'm weak, I don't want to do this and that. And you know what? It's not about weakness. If you have these emotions, you have to let those emotions go through you. And last night, it just absolutely erupted for me, and I let it through. And I have this incredible peace in my heart right now that I just voiced my opinion. I let people know that I am human and I will have this issues like everybody else does. Maybe my issues is not from actually contracting the virus, but just because we don't contract the virus, that doesn't mean that we are not affected by the virus. You know what I'm saying? So it's like every one of us really honestly is in this together, So don't look at each other like if somebody contracted the virus and the others, like, don't look at that person as any different than you are, because guess what? They are freaking same. They just, maybe a month from now or 2 months from now, 3 months from now, you're going to contract the virus. But the effects of this whole situation is the same for everyone. And add to it, all this other stuff that we are going through, which was already part of our lives, So this was a really interesting experience for me. But what makes it different in so many ways for me is, and this is honestly the ones that I'm trying to give you guys every single day, that there are tools to bring you back to balance. So even though I had my catharsis last night, after that there were several tools that I could go to immediately. So when I went to the bath, I usually love to take I would love to take an Epsom salt bath at night because that's like the best anti-inflammatory. I don't like to take pills. So I went to take my Epsom salt bath, and I literally practiced, one of these tools that would, I teach in my courses and I teach in my membership, to allow us to calm down. But even if you just become aware of the fact that you had to let this out, you had to show your human side. Don't try to hold on and don't try to be so tough, because you know what? We are humans. We're not gonna be so tough. even if we're gonna be tough, we're gonna survive this whole thing. But it was one of those things yesterday. So no, I'm not a robot. No, I am not perfect. And this was last night was an incredible experience. But today there is peace. So if you feel like you're about to blow up, let it blow up. Possibly not in an environment that you can't fix the effects of it. Possibly just blow up in a way that you are with someone or a situation where people can understand that you are blowing up. But let it out, cry it out. Even if it's, I mean, the way I was last night was literally the same way. I was just reflecting back on it. Was literally the same way as in 2017 when my father passed away, and my sisters and I, we were going home to bury him essentially and so forth. And then suddenly one day we came home and I saw his coat, and this was not planned. So I saw his coat, I saw his shoes, and it wasn't there. And that was like this huge moment, And now I don't feel the same way. Obviously, it still affects me emotionally. It's just that whole vision, But literally last night, that whole thing was just coming out of me, and I was like, holy cow. It's just... We need to get into a new world, because this world is not going to be the same again. So we have to find ourselves. We have to find our new norm, and we're gonna find it because we are extremely strong. We are not, neither one of you guys are, gonna back off of living again and coming out again and doing things again. But it's just when suddenly something is over and it's sudden, I mean, in my father's case too, it's like I knew he was, not well, but he was 88 years old, going on 89. Of course he was gonna die, you get that, but when there's just that sudden curtain comes, and that's exactly how suddenly this whole change in our life came. There was no, nothing to prepare us. So it's very interesting how that same suddenness just came out of me last night, and add to that something else, obviously, which about in my private life. So this was interesting. So again, the lesson today, very, very, very simply, the lesson today, if you have it coming on, let it go through you. Don't bottle it up. Don't be strong, because this is not strong. The strength is that when it goes through you, are you strong enough to then build back up? That's the real strength. The strength is not, holding it and not feeling it. Actually, let it go. Let it go through your body. Let it go through your mind. Let it go through your heart. So many times in life we're going to have our heart kind of broken to pieces, but the strength that comes when you get up from the ground and you rebuild it again. Okay, everyone? So that was a little bit more emotional than I expected, but I really, really want to thank my sisters, because without them last night it would have been a tough one. But it's knowing that you have people around you, whoever they are, just respect them, appreciate them, and thank them as much as you can. All right, everyone, have a good night. I gotta bring some stuff home for the husband. Bye, everyone.